As the great Carley Rae Jepson once said, "Hey, I just met you, and this is crazy, but here's my number, so call me maybe." Okay, but in all seriousness, I have a very, very important question to ask y'all. Oh my gosh, please go call your reps. Please, 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 please call your reps. Please call your senators, please call your members of Congress, please call them and tell them to speak out against Trump's unprecedented move yesterday. Trump had the DOJ declare the Affordable Care Act to be unconstitutional. Specifically, the part of the Affordable Care Act that prevents insurance companies and healthcare providers from discriminating against people with pre-existing conditions. Yes, you heard that correctly. They said that protecting people from discrimination was unconstitutional. I don't even know where to begin on this because I am so upset and angry and shocked by this. If you don't know, the Affordable Care Act has a part that says that healthcare providers and insurance providers cannot charge people extra if they have a pre-existing condition, and they cannot deny them care based on the fact that they have a pre-existing condition. Those two pieces of the ACA are so important because a lot of times insurance and healthcare providers will try to charge people extra because they have a pre-existing condition because they say that they're going to be more expensive. A lot of times they will also deny people healthcare based on the fact that they have a pre-existing condition, which is basically saying you're not worth treating anymore. You cost too much money. Your life is not worth treating anymore. So we're just going to deny you healthcare. That would happen to people. So the ACA was like, this is wrong. We should protect people from this because people with pre-existing conditions need healthcare. Pre-existing conditions can be a number of things. Any healthcare condition that you had before your current healthcare plan started, before you switched providers, before you got that insurance. It includes mental illnesses, depression, bipolar disorder, anxiety. It includes chronic illnesses like fibromyalgia, lupus, Ehlers-Danlos, cystic fibrosis, Crohn's. It includes things like cancer. At one point, they were trying to make pregnancy a pre-existing condition. Also, being a survivor of sexual assault is apparently a pre-existing condition. Just all in all, it's a lot of things are pre-existing conditions. If you don't have a pre-existing condition, you probably know and love somebody who does. And it's not people's fault for having a pre-existing condition. I have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. It causes my joints and my ligaments to be too weak to do their job, so things dislocate and tear really easily. And I was born with that. My genetics are what caused me to have this pre-existing condition. It was not any choice that I made in my life, you know. And I have complex regional pain syndrome, which developed after an injury that was caused by my Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. And CRPS is incurable. There's nothing they can do for it. There's no treatment. I have to rely on the healthcare system to be able to provide me with methods of managing my pain. Otherwise, my life would be a mess. If I didn't have the healthcare to get the treatments I needed, my life would be absolutely miserable. If you've watched any of my previous videos, you have an idea of how bad CRPS is. I would not be able to function. I wouldn't have a life. I need my healthcare. I need to be able to get, the spinal injections I get. I need to be able to see a pain management doctor. I need to be able to go to physical therapy so I can have a life. The thought of losing those protections, the thought of losing my healthcare is terrifying because I can't even begin to imagine what that would look like. I just know it would be awful. I wouldn't be able to go to college. I wouldn't be able to continue working. I wouldn't be able to do anything I want to do in life. People with pre-existing conditions have not done anything to deserve the health issues that they have. Most of the time, it happens. Life happens. We should not be discriminated against or told that our lives are worth less, that we're not worth treating or saving because of health issues that we cannot control. This is just straight up an attack on people with disabilities, on people with chronic illnesses and mental illnesses, on anyone with any pre-existing condition. You know, people with cystic fibrosis, for example, if they don't get the treatments they need, they will die. People are going to die if this isn't fixed. If they get rid of the ACA, 133 million Americans are going to lose health care. People will die. And people's lives will be ruined because of this. We're gonna lose people because of this if we don't do something. And I'm not okay with that. And you shouldn't be either. A lot of times, people with disabilities and chronic illnesses have to do all their own advocacy because it's not a cool or a sexy issue. But it affects so many people, y'all. Please, even if you are not directly affected by this, take 5 minutes, call your senator, call your member of Congress. I'll put a link to my Instagram. I have a story on how to call your members of Congress and your senators. I'm happy to walk anyone through it who needs walking through it. Please just leave a comment, message me. I'll try to leave instructions down below. Please take 5 minutes and call them and ask them to speak out against this, ask them to protect the ACA, ask them to protect people with chronic illnesses, with disabilities, with pre-existing conditions, ask them to care for people, because at any point, any one of us could develop a health condition that will be a pre-existing condition, and it would change our lives. It changed mine. We all benefit from a more accessible world, all benefit from having better healthcare. Please, please, help people like me. Help other people with pre-existing conditions. We've all got to fight for each other. Please call your senators and call your members of Congress and help protect our lives. Please care about us enough to help make our lives worth living. Prove to the people in power that people who are sick, people with pre-existing conditions, are worth having on this earth and worth caring for. Thank you. Until next time.